the main topic, which I thought was interesting, right, is the end of live service shooters. And my big hook to this was like, maybe that's why there's not going to be a Destiny 3. So, as you know, like I researching the story, Destiny is no longer, one of the top games streamed on Twitch. While maintaining a healthy player count on Steam, it's roughly about 20,000 players at the time of me, preparing for the video. It was last at six figures, 100,000 players, June 2024 of last year. I mean, the closest thing I could think of, like looking at Twitch, looking at online data for YouTube, looking at Facebook gaming, is Escape from Tarkov, which is not really a live service shooter. It's more of a survival shooting game thing. So there are no live service shooters with the exception of Once Human online being played, being supported at the moment. And even Once Human. Once Human is at the same player numbers as Escape from Tarkov, roughly about 20,000 players. That is free to play. So totally different business model. I was trying to find out what are their revenue numbers. I did see something for like about 6 million people have like registered the game Once Human on Steam. But again, 20,000 players, that means not many people are playing it. The reviews of Once Human are also like average. Some people really like it, some people don't. Um, I'm not even sure about the future of that. Then we come down to Star Wars Outlaws, right? Star Wars Outlaws was the game made by the people who made Division 1 and Division 2. And supposedly a Division 3 is being made at the moment. But with looking at, like, if you are Massive Entertainment, which is the company who made The Division and Star Wars Outlaws, and given your performance on the last game and looking at the environment, do you want to make a live service shooter? And Adam had a good question. It's like, what is the definition of a live service shooter? So I'll let the guys talk about that. I think, yeah, the live service shooters are fun. Like, I love the Division because it was, and some people hated it. I remember when the Division 1 came out, they're like, hey, I have to empty out 3 magazines into an enemy to kill him. This is so not realistic, right? These are the Counter-Strike people. People want realism. And then the other people like me are like, man, I love it. It's like an action movie, right? Where it's not like I'm gonna go through the game and I'm gonna kill people one shot at a time. No, it's like gunfights and firefights, and it's exciting. It's grenades and technology, and that's why I love the Division. I mean, and the looting is sort of like why you play a game like Diablo or Path of Exile, right? Is you get cool gear, cool stuff, do builds and stuff for the people who are really serious about it. Um, I think to answer the question, is it the end of live service shooters? My answer is yes. I think sometime this year there will be an announcement that Division 3 has been cancelled because it is not an economically feasible game. I remember something, they spent $200 million making the Division 2. And we know gaming costs are just going up and up. And I don't think, especially because the Division 2 was published by Ubisoft and Division 3 will be published by Ubisoft. Now, given that Ubisoft is, leaking money, I don't think there's going to be another AAA live service shooter. We already know there's not going to be a Destiny 3, no Division. I don't think Once Human's going to be around in 2 years. So, yeah, maybe this is the end of the genre.
So like looter shooters
Yes.
then. Yeah, because I'm like, when you say live service shooter, okay, well, it's a shooter and it's live service. That is a very broad category. The looter shooter is a little bit, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're as big as they used to be, but I don't think we've had like, I feel like a lot of times people come up with good ideas and then squander them. I mean, look at Destiny 2. The original Destiny, they said this is what we're gonna do, and then when it came out, people are like, this is not what you guys told us you were gonna make, and then and then they took years to build it back up. And then Destiny 2 came out, and people are like, okay, now they know how to do it. And then they just screwed it all up again. And, they've been trying to build it back up ever since. Um, Borderlands obviously isn't what it used to be. Borderlands 4, though, is coming out soon. So who knows? We'll see. But yes, Borderlands 2 was probably the peak of Borderlands. But I think it's just one of those things where, yeah, I mean, trends move on. People are now into like battle royales and that sort of thing. So I think maybe looter shooters aren't as popular. But would I say it's dead? I don't know. See, things are cyclical. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somebody comes out with a looter shooter in 5 years or something like that, and it just takes off and it just boosts the whole thing, and it just explodes again. Um, so I think it's just kind of a combination of fatigue and people not coming up with like, people are kind of chasing the dream rather than trying to create a new dream. But I mean, there's games like I guess it's a little bit different, but like Risk of Rain and stuff like that are people that like people like and they're popular. So um, I wouldn't say it's dead. I would just say it's going into a hibernation dormancy state, and I'm sure it'll come back later. But yeah, I just don't see that there's a lot of new games coming out in this genre right now. So right now it seems to be kind of the was it the hero arena kind of games like Marvel Rivals and Overwatch and those sort of things are kind of having with Marvel's Rivals. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more of those, but they'll die off eventually too, and we'll come back around. So